So we've said, let us have an affirmative action that will attract some more funds, but not lead to the rest of the counties losing, so that whereas all of us are winning, but the 11 counties to be brought up so that they have slightly more money for development. These counties, Mr. Speaker, Nyamira, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, Vihiga County, Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, and Lam. This is what we decided. And now, this was after drawing from the wisdom of Embu, of the two Kamkunjis. So this is enough reason for us to say, Senator Osoti, that the consultation that you want to look for has sufficiently been addressed. Nothing can be perfect. I remember the senator of Kitui. He persuaded me in the first Kamkunji. He brought the analogy of pickups carrying vaccines to go from the center to some area in North Horr. I was convinced. And this is the purpose of debate. As the Senator of Nairobi has said, we listen to each other so that we can convince each other for the good of the country. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, before I conclude, allow me to congratulate the football fans of Gor Mahia FC of Homa Bay. When we went to play yesterday against Gor Mahia, we were worried that there was going to be the misbehavior I saw between the fans in Kisii of Savannah and Gor Mahia. It was very shameful to see Kenyan fans injuring each other at Gusii Stadium just because Shabana was fighting, was playing against Gor Mahia. Yesterday, most of my young people are telling me, should we go? I told them, go. I have talked to Oburu. I've talked to Kajwang. I've talked to Beatrice Oyomo. And they have told me that for the first time, Luos will not make noise. They will just be cheering. We know you as our noisy neighbors, and we don't complain. But yesterday, I congratulate you. With those many marks, Mr. Speaker, I second.
Honorable Senators, I'll now proceed to propose the question that the Senate notes the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the fourth basis for the allocating of the share of national revenue among the counties laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, 17th of April 2025, and that pursuant to Article 217(1) of the Constitution, approves the fourth basis for allocating the share of national revenue among the counties for the financial years 2025, 2026 to 2029, 2030 as follows. County allocation equals baseline allocation ratio at Kenya shillings 387.425 billion plus Kenya shillings 2 billion shared equally among the identified 11 counties, plus 0.45 population index, plus 0.35 eco-share index, plus 0.12 poverty index, plus 0.08 geographical size index, additional county equitable share above the 389.425 billion, where one, baseline allocation ratio equals to the allocation factor derived from each county's allocation for the financial year 2024-2025, and two, the 11 identified counties are Elgeyo Marakwet, Embu, Isiolo, Kirinyaga, Laikipia, Lamu, Nyamira, Samburu, Taita Taveta, Tharaka Nithi, and Vihiga. Three, the population index is based on the 2019 Kenya population and housing census. Four, the poverty index is based on the 2022 Kenya poverty report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. And five, geographical size is capped at 10%. Now, honorable senators, the floor is now open for debate. I will call upon the honorable senator for Vihiga to take the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Although I've just pressed my button now, but I have no problem being the first one to start. Mr. Speaker, this exercise we are doing is only done once in 5 years. That means this formula will be with us for 5 years, and will be the formula that is going to be used for division of revenue. And that's why we really need to create an environment for consensus and not contestation between the so-called small counties and the big counties. Mr. Speaker, I am a senator of one of the so-called small counties, the counties that receive less amount of money from the shareable revenue. And I want to refer the members of this House to the Constitution. Article 203 of the Constitution provides the basis of how the sharing will be done. Basically, the principles to be complied with when making a decision on the sharing formula. And I want to refer members to two very important principles. The principle under that Article 203(1), Principle G, which is economic disparities within and among counties and the need to remedy them. I also refer you to H of that chapter 203(1), the need for affirmative action in respect of disadvantaged areas and groups. Mr. Speaker, this is very, very important constitutional principle, which this House should not ignore.
Order, Senator Kenyua. May the senator for Vihiga be heard in silence.
These are two very, very critical constitutional principles which this House cannot ignore, and which the previous three formulas have ignored. And I'm going to demonstrate that shortly, Mr. Speaker. That we cannot continue disadvantaging some counties at the expense of others, because devolution was meant to ensure equitable and balanced development across the country. Honorable Khalwale has just given an example between Kakamega County and Vihiga County, which are neighbors, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is so sad that a county like Vihiga County cannot do any meaningful development, and the immediate neighbors, which is Kakamega, where my friend and my elder brother comes from, is doing major projects, Mr. Speaker. And Honorable Khalwale, you know very well that Vihiga County, Mr. Speaker, a mere 1 kilometer of road. Kakamega has constructed a road up to Iregi on the boundary. From Iregi to Chavakali Junction is about 1 kilometer. Vihiga County has not been able to complete the road because of low budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other day, we were shown on television Kidundu Stadium, which is looking so bad, Mr. Speaker. And yet you go to Kakamega, they have an international stadium, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is high time we looked at the provision of the Constitution, particularly Article 203(1), on the issue of economic disparity among the counties and the need to uplift the disadvantaged counties and groups, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if we don't do this, devolution will mean nothing for some counties. Mr. Speaker, the small counties are basically employment bureaus. They employ people, but they cannot do any development. And yet, Mr. Speaker, you know very well that the staff establishment in all these counties is the same. But the money that remains for development is very little. Mr. Speaker, let me now come to the two formulas. I want to address the CRA formula, and I also want to address the committee formula. Mr. Speaker, it is unfair for us to see in this House and our own committee of the Senate, the Finance Committee, which is supposed to protect our interests, is giving us less money than what CRA is giving us. And I want to demonstrate, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the CRA tried to look at these two parameters, the parameter of economic disparity and the parameter of affirmative action. And they tried to help the small counties. I know some of the big counties lost, but we would have gotten a clear balance so that we are not disfranchised by our own committee. And Mr. Speaker, if you look at the report by the committee, they have conveniently left out the simulation based on CRA formula. If you look at the simulation for CRA, Mr. Speaker, Elgeyo Marakwet was getting 392 million on top of what they're getting. The committee is giving them 241 million. So they are losing over 150 million, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Embu is losing, yes, on the CRA formula. Committee gave them 256 and they are getting 85. But that is just one county. But the most serious effect is on Senator Luos County, Isiolo. The committee is giving Isiolo 257 million. CRA is giving Isiolo 1,137 million, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Lamu, the committee gave Lamu 177 million.
Senator Osotsi, there is a point of information. If you desire to be given the information by Senator Roba.
Yeah, he's the chairman of the committee. He can give me information.
Proceed.
But I have very crucial information also.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I would like to guide the Honorable Senator Osotsi that the numbers he's making reference to, he has to share with the House whether it is based on CRA based the allocation on 417 billion as shareable revenue. The numbers he's making reference to is at 405. So he needs to clarify so that it's very clear in terms of what shareable revenue is he basing the numbers he's discussing on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The formula, the numbers are based on 4 or 5 billion. And remember, I started by saying the committee should have done us a favor by also publishing the simulation based on CRA formula, which they didn't do, Mr. Speaker. And we have gone ahead to get the simulation ourselves. Mr. Speaker, let me proceed. Lamu is gaining 568 million, and the committee is giving them 177 million. Laikipia, CRA is giving them 478 million. The committee is giving them 263 million. Nyamira is getting 356 million. The committee is giving them 260 million. Taita Taveta is getting 481 on CRA. The committee is giving them 246. Tharakanithi is getting 483 million. The committee is giving them 219 million. Vihiga, my own county, CRA is giving them 609 million. The committee is giving us 263 million. Samburu, the CRA is giving them 547. The committee is giving them
Senator
261
Eddie, what is your point of
million.
order?
Mr. Speaker, because I sit in that committee, I also stand on 105, responsibility for statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate what Senator Osotsi is doing in terms of reading the 11 counties considered to be small counties, losing or gaining. But I think for the purposes of the public, if you're going to read the CRA formula that was given, then you ought to read it for all counties. Because that's the first thing. You have to read it for the all counties, because when you read it for the all counties, Mr. Speaker, there were counties that were also bigger counties that were losing, as well as some counties that were gaining. So it is not in order to inform the public that it's only the smaller counties that were affected by the CRA formula. Secondly, the CRA formula was based on 417. Our formula is based on a baseline of 387 plus 405 that has come from the National Assembly. So that means that fact needs to be presented correctly so that there is no misguiding the public.
Senator Osotsi, I hope you are...
Mr. Speaker, you know I'm very thorough in what I do.
Yes.
Everything I do, I'm very thorough.
In your being
I
thorough,
have done my research very
in your
well.
being thorough,
Yes.
I know you're always very thorough, but in your being thorough, do not